Hey y'all, it's Eve. How are you doing today? I am here dropping by to share a little story about my experience pursuing an MFA. And my little disclaimer is that I'm speaking just about myself here. You know, there's no shade or judgment for anybody who pursues that path. I think it's wonderful. I mean, I pursued it for a reason, and every program is different. So I first applied to graduate school, Mills College specifically. I believe it was in 2017 when I was just really beginning my music career, and I was feeling like I needed a community to help me grow and to be inspired, to be surrounded by intelligent, creative people who valued the same things as me, basically. And I got accepted. However, I declined because I felt like I needed to spend more time in Nashville. I had co-founded a electronic music collective with some friends, and it felt like my work needed to be in staying here and helping to create a community specifically for women and gender non-conforming people. And so I did that for about 2 years-ish, maybe 1.5. And then things disbanded with the collective, unfortunately, which is a whole other story. And I returned again to the idea of graduate school. And really, I just wanted to try something new. I wanted to be in a new environment. And I've lived in Nashville for 12, 13, maybe longer than that, 15 years at this point, since 2012. You do the math. I don't feel like it. And I've lived in so many different places in Nashville alone. Like, I love moving and getting rid of things and entering a new space and making it my own, and it feels like an initiation of some kind. So anyway, I had this idea that going to graduate school in California would help my career. And I honestly wasn't interested in the degree itself. I wasn't interested in the idea of being in the university system and teaching or anything like that. I just wanted the community. And in hindsight, I wish that I would have just moved to California and not gone to school. But for whatever reason, I felt the need to pursue it. Really because I thought it would be a beneficial experience for myself and my creative practice. And the moral of the story for me is, I've had music teachers throughout my life. I have never formally studied music before. It's always been spending a lot of time with basically a rogue instructor who I've learned a lot from. And that's been super valuable. Basically, what I've learned most from the teachers I've worked with independently is the value in listening. And so I showed up at Mills, and it was really hard for me, mentally and emotionally, because so much of my creative practice is an emotional, spiritual practice. And I was finding that a lot of what I was being asked to do was to analyze music, and it made me feel paralyzed. It made me feel very self-conscious of everything that I was doing creatively. It felt very cold and removed in general. I mean, there are people that I met while I was there who I really like and who are very talented, obviously, amazing people. And for me, it was just not a good experience, to be real. The best part was having access to the various spaces and the synthesizers and being able to use them at any hour. That was the real value, and meeting people who are really cool too. But the classes, the coursework, it wasn't for me. It just wasn't. Plus, I had a professor who really didn't like me. And one day at the beginning of class, she was like, does anybody have any, exciting news? Raised my hand, everyone's sitting around, and she says, what, are you pregnant? Yeah, not really appropriate. Harassment. I would call that harassment. And there were just a lot of different signs I was getting that it wasn't the place for me. And so I was there from August until about November 2019. And I had a tour planned for December, early December. And when I told my professors that I was thinking about heading out, they expressed their disappointment and said, they were trying to convince me to stay, which, is part of their job. I understand that. But my soul needed to be free. I had already tasted freedom in my creative practice in Nashville, and it made me realize that what I left behind was really great, actually. The people here in Tennessee. But I'm really glad I tried. I'm glad I tried, because if I hadn't, then I would be wondering what it would be like. And, I spent $10,000. I took a loan out, a student loan, for one semester. It cost me $10,000. It took me 6 years to pay it off. Not worth it. Not worth it. I'd recommend just going on YouTube. If you're someone like me, if you're a little bit of a rebel, if you have problems with the whole hierarchy of institutions and you don't want to submit yourself to someone that you don't particularly respect, I'd say just find one artist that you like locally and have coffee with them and just chat, or go online and learn things for free. YouTube University. So I feel like some academic programs are really bizarre. It's like I felt like there was this pressure to create music that was so heady and inaccessible to the average person. And that's not really what I'm about. Like, I love me some weird shit. It's important to me. And I'm not always in the mood to make something that's totally abstract. Like, it's kind of funny to me in a way. Like there are some fancy degree programs out there where it's like the high level intelligent vocabulary that you use to talk about the things that you do is like a way to like prove that you've had this academic experience, that you have this degree. Like, that's the value. And I just don't really value that. I don't. To me, if someone asks me what a song means, I'd be like, well, what's it mean to you? I'm just here to make it. I'm not here to explain it. When it's happening, I'm just making myself available to the inspiration. I am not a conceptual artist. And for some people, that's what they enjoy most. For me, that's not the case. I don't like to define what I do. And whenever I am put in a position where people are like, describe yourself, I'm like, I don't know. Just listen to my music, and there you go. So that's about it. That's what I have to say about my graduate school experience. It felt like a very cold, detached experience for me. It just didn't resonate with the path that I'm on, and it took trying it to find that out. And I do have fond memories of hanging out with people there and being goofy and playing synthesizers. Like, those were good times. And I'm really happy to be where I am right now. So it's funny, a friend told me not to go unless it was free, and I really should have taken that advice. But, you know, sometimes you learn the hard way. You learn by putting your hand right on the burner of the stove. That's how it's gone for me at times, but this is a new phase. This is a new chapter. And for all of you out there who are creative people who don't have the words to describe what you do, who make up their own processes, who do lots of different things and not just one particular thing, your art is so valid and so needed, because we live in a society that wants to really pigeonhole everything and make everything succinct and contained and marketable. And I think it's an act of rebellion to not succumb to that pressure. And for me, I think the point of art and music, it's about authentic expression. For many people, it's a technical thing. I feel like that is something different. I don't know how to define that. Obviously, there's the technical aspect to it, but to me, it's all about feel. And some of the music and art that I enjoy most, honestly, anybody could have made it, but each person has their own unique way of seeing, of hearing, of interacting with their tools, and that's what I want to see. I want to see that, and that's what I strive to do with my stuff. So that's what I got. When I make these videos, I don't even know what's coming out of my mouth, so I hope that there was some value in this. And again, I'm not trying to give a bad rep to graduate programs in general. This was just my experience. It was not a good fit. I probably would have had a very different experience, you know, at a different university. But alas, I did not. So just know that if you want to make things, there are so many ways to go about it, and just trust your gut. The thing that other people can't teach you is how to be yourself and how to interact with an instrument or a paintbrush or a canvas, whatever, as yourself. You're awesome. Thanks so much for listening. This has been my little chat, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.